Hello and welcome back to another Let's Play of Eldfall Chronicles Northern Wind. This time we are at the Mist Temple, and let's jump right into the story. Your journey through the temple grounds leads you south into the misty veiled marshes of the lower slopes of Mount Senjo. The air grows heavy and the ground softer with each step, and the path narrows into a winding thread of stones and rotted wood. Through the fog, a decrepit three-story pagoda slowly emerges, standing in snow like a ghostly sentinel. It looms over the mire, half sunken, its eaves twisted with creeping moss and vine. Twisted flora writhe along the edge of the bubbling tar-like waters, pulsing with a quiet malignance. The land feels wrong beneath your feet, not simply old or neglected, but spoiled, as if the earth itself were rotten. So we have placed the tiles, as we can see here. We have placed the heroes on entrance, and we have placed the Encounter 1 and aquatic terrain tokens as indicated on the field layout. So, also, if we want, we could just walk straight over. And I totally forgot to do weather checks all my games previously, because this quest says that we skip the weather check. Also, cursed land. Do not remove dead or incapacitated hostiles unless a result of an effect. In the strategic phase of the hostile turn, all undead hostiles in the dead state resurrect. They regain full HP and all states are removed from them. And open area. All tile edges are considered open wide edges. So, with this we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. 9 tiles from here up to the pagoda. So basically, we can shoot everywhere and can be shot everywhere. And the quest ends if all heroes leave the field through exit. Yeah, but this would be boring. As I said, I believe in my previous video, I want to play this mission because I'm curious what happens. In the ambush, I forgot to try and unlock a synergy card. I would have most likely tried to use Arcanist Step so that Anari could be a bit more quicker, but I will try to remedy that now in this game. So, since there are no hostiles currently, I just allocate some token, and then I will start with the heroes. And immediately Sagan will start, because he will have the dubious honor to trigger the first encounter. And with this, let's see. As you approach the temple, the tainted mana from the marshes become palpable, swirling visible in purple-tinted mist. Undead swarm around the area, drawn inexplicably to something within the pavilion. Place 2 bone walkers on one and another one. Place 1 bone walker on one and another one on space 2 space south of 2. Place 2 vengeful spirit, 1 on 1 and another one 3 spaces south of 2. Place a forgotten hero, watchful, 2 spaces of the east of 2. Watchful trait, this model received double AP in its reactive roll. Oh, that is interesting. So, with all this, I also have opened the FHQ, and it says that Encounter 2, which you can see here, but is nowhere indicated where you should place it, place Encounter 2 spaces east of 2, so basically on the other side of the water token. Yeah, here at this side. And is it where the... Yeah, it is the same space where the Forgotten Hero will be. So, I will just prepare that, and then I will continue with the hero's turn. Okay, with this, Sagan will not activate any further, because this would trigger activation from the Forgotten Hero, who has the chance to use the static quality of the bow and to cost Sagan his second activation. But since this Forgotten Hero is still only a 2 tier undead, And Nara had from the last time still 2 mana token. Nara would have cast Spectral Sight to gain advantage against undead. My go-to spell if I have no idea what else to do. Nara will activate. She will cast Command Undead, which with 2 mana tokens spent are 2 successful int rolls, and the Command Undead and the Forgotten Hero will turn into an ally. Therefore, he would have obviously have reacted, but since he's now an ally, I will just remove his other token, because now he is in his active row, only having 1 remaining, which turns this immediately into something far more easier. Now Anari will activate. She will use a run action. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to here. Wait a second, I just noticed something. It has a casting of aura. So we have to turn that back, because I believe that the casting of aura means that we do not have enough range, because if I remember correctly, aura spells have casting aura, allows casting a spell without line of sight and halved attribute. Same size as awareness. Here it is. And awareness is only 3 spaces. So we can't do that. Okay, then we have to rethink this a little bit, making it quite more difficult. Let's start with Theros then, who will use 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Theros will 1, 2, 3 walk up to here and attack the Forgotten Hero with a Thenian crossbow, who in return will attack with his corroded warbow. So, Theros needing a 17 or less, it's a 5. The Forgotten Hero 14 or less, it's a 14. The Forgotten Hero wins this. Therefore, Theros loses his second activation, and a 19 is not enough to wound, and Theros gets a 3rd wound weak point. So that is that. I have to get Nara somewhere close, or I could do something else. 1, 2, 3, 4. Letting Anari now run might be quite difficult because of the Forgotten Hero, who, according to his behavior card, if he has a line of sight, can I get it into focus for you? Range attack with a corroded warbow, and the target priority at top is the activated model. So I still have 3 activations to drain, which could be possible with my remaining 2 heroes if they are able to do something. Let me try. Do I have something else with Nara I can do? Casting, Leech Life, 1, 2, 3. I will try to get a little bit closer with... Let's start with Anari nevertheless. Anari, even when she is only an agility of 12, she will try to dodge. 1, 2. The Forgotten Hero will attack. Forgotten Hero attacks. With a 14, it is just enough to hit. Anari rolls a 19, fails to dodge. Therefore, she will lose her other activation. Is the Forgotten Hero able to wound? Power of 13 minus the armor of 3. 17, it is not enough to wound, but Aneri gets a second weak point. So, out of activations already, but still allowed to dodge to Theros. 1, 2, 3. Nara activates next. She will walk 1, 2 next to Sagan, and she will cast Control Undead on the Vengeful Spirit, therefore removing her mana token. It's only 1. He would have tried to dodge, so this is, he will dodge towards, then he will turn into an ally, and it will trigger attack from the Forgotten Hero. Is he able to hit? With a 9 he is able to hit, and with a 5 he's also able to wound Nara, who loses her second activation, gets a wound, and she is poisoned 1. And I really can't remember. Mortal suffers a wound with this trait, it becomes weakened. This is quite a deal. Half toughness and -1 strike. So, now Nara can't activate anymore. Theros is out. Only Sagan and the ghost left. I will immediately try to use the ghost. I will activate him, walk him into contact with the Bone Walker, and attack him, which will trigger an attack from the Forgotten Hero, his third activation. Let's see if anything happens. With a 15 he misses, but no, the Vengeful Spirit needs a 10 or less to hit. Natural 1. The Bone Walker will, with the 1, 2, 3, is within 3 spaces of 2 other undead. Therefore he has a defense of 12. With a 10 he managed to succeed, but the natural 1 of the Vengeful Spirit is enough to win this confrontation. Now 10 or less to wound this Bone Walker, ignoring the armor. And it's exactly a 10, therefore this Bone Walker goes down. So, does Sagan want to move? He would be targeted by the 1, 2. When does the aquatic terrain comes into play? Looking here, come on, half speed and agility, burn 1 negated, and halves, okay. I would say that this counts as 2 spaces, so 1, 2, 3, half movement, 3, and then with a range of 4 going up to here. 3, 4. As soon as he will enter the space with the ghosts, line of sight, enemy within the same space, it's an attack. Not the smartest play. Therefore Sagan will go 1 space here and a second space here. Okay, so with all this done, let me allocate some activation points, and then we will start with the Undead's turn. I will also already revive this Bone Walker according to the Cursed Land rule. So, see you in the hostile's first turn. Okay, activation points are allocated. Let's see what will be the first Chaos card. Day or night? We are at dawn, so we are at the day. 2 heroes can each heal 1 HP and remove 1 weak point. Healing Rays. That is really beneficial. What was it? 1 HP and 1 weak point. HP would be for Nara great, but she can heal herself with second chance and Soul Leech. So Theros and Sagan have the most weak points, so each of these will use the Healing Rays to reduce their weak points. I'm afraid of the next boss fight. Okay, with all this, Lowest tier are the 2 tier 1s, so 1 to 6, 7 to 12, and 13 to 18. 19 and 20 will be rerolled. Who will activate first? Above 13 to 18, this one will activate first. And I will immediately trigger a reaction from Nara, who will spend another mana token. And since this is a sorcery, this is really great that it's a sorcery, and it is definitely within 3 spaces, it's exactly within 2, I will turn this hostile also into an ally. So 1 to 5 and 11 to 20. 11 to 20, this one will activate. Since it is ignoring difficult terrain, I believe, because of Incorporeal. Is it? Is it not? Ignore environmental rules. Yeah, movement penalties and so on. Okay, it will walk 1, 2, and then would make an attack, but Nara will activate and spend her 3rd and last mana token gained from the last game to also convert this undead to a fellow. So this space is quite full. Now this undead's turn. It will move 2 spaces, 1, 2, and now it's within reach of the of a full square, so it is allowed to attack. 1 to 5, 1 to 5, 6 to 10, yeah, and otherwise one of the ghosts. 1, it will attack Sagan. Sagan on his turn will react by attacking back. And Nara is out of activation points, and Neri will wait, and Theros will wait. So with this, I could also activate all these. Yeah, all of these will do they want to do? This Spectral Ghost will do a dodge to dodge 1 space closer and become the closest activated model against them. And this one will also activate and jump right ahead. So with this, the Bone Walker can only attack these 2, but more important, this one also. So, but let's go with the confrontation. The Bone Walker has 2 attacks, and Sagan will reduce its offense by 3 due to his Masterful Parry. So, the Bone Walker needing a 7 or less, natural 1 and a 16, not good for Sagan. 7 and 18, okay, the natural 1 wins the confrontation. And with that, the Bone Walker ignores Sagan's armor. Now let's see if it is useful. With a 13, it is above the power of 10. Therefore, the Bone Walker is unable to wound Sagan, but it gives him another weak point. Now the Bone Walker will activate again. It will attack the ghosts who cannot resist the attack. This ghost will activate, it will dodge 1 space forward. This ghost will activate it, this Bone Walker will activate, it will go 1 space forward. Now the Bone Walker will attack. 5 and a 3, these are 2 hits. Power is half, so therefore 5 or less to wound. It's an 18 and a 7, not enough to wound this ghost, but enough to put a weak point onto it. Now, the Forgotten Hero will activate, shooting at this ghost first, 18 or less because of the marksman class. Natural 20, it fails. And the second attack, let's see, an 8 is enough to hit, power of 13, halved and rounded up, we are at 7. 13, would it have been corporal, this would have been enough, but in this instant, no, it isn't. So, with all this done, Nara compromising the others was absolutely helpful. And with that, I will prepare the heroes next turn and let you join as soon as I'm ready. Okay, this turn starts with Nara casting Soul Leech onto herself to get the chance and regain some mana counters. I really love these stuff on her in this quest, or in general in Mount Senju. So, with this, the first to activate will be this Forgotten Spirit, Vengeful Spirit, and it will use a dodge, which will trigger this Forgotten Hero's action. So, the Forgotten Hero, needing a 14 or less to hit, with a 12 it would hit, is the ghost with an agility of 8, able to dodge. 19 it is not, 7 or less to destroy it. It's a 20, this is not enough, giving it a wound point and 1 movement, 1 dodge. Now, the Vengeful Spirit will activate again. 1, 2, and it will make a dodge. Because, yeah, it doesn't matter, dodge is an agility of 8, defense is also 8, and with the dodge it has a higher chance to avoid the incoming attack of the defense 14. So, Corroded Sword, 1 strike because it's a defense roll, removing 1 activation point. With a natural 1, the Vengeful Forgotten Hero manages to hit the Vengeful Spirit, unable to dodge. So, power is 11 halved, it's 6 or less. Luckily, it is 6 or less because the 7 is not enough to wound, but put another wound token there. And more importantly, now the Forgotten Hero is engaged in combat and can't cast any spells, which is great because now Anera can 1, 2, 3, 4 use a run action with her first activation, and with her second activation she will walk 1, 2 here and cast Melting Touch onto Nara, who gets word is missing. Who gets now burn and more importantly ignore armor. Then let's go with this Forgotten Vengeful Spirit, who will use a dodge action to avoid the attack of this Bone Walker. The Bone Walker tries to hit. With a 4 it is able to hit. The Vengeful Spirit with a 9 failed to dodge. So the Bone Walker, 5 or less to wound. 14 it is unable to wound, but enough to put also here. I will just use a fatigue token to put a second weak point onto the Vengeful Spirit. So, Nara, now buffed, will use, she will activate, will she activate? No, let's go with Sagan first. Sagan will just enter the space and make a dodge, because this triggers also the attack of the Bone Walker. Bone Walker with a 5 is hitting. Sagan with a 6 is able to dodge the attack. And now Nara will activate, even with halved her toughness. So basically 6 plus 2, it's only a total of 8. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. She will attack the no defenseless Bone Walker, so 3 die. Because Sagan is in the same space and is engaged with the same opponent, she gets +3 offense, so 17 or less to hit. These are 2, 5, and 11. These are 3 hits. And now, I believe it was first divided and then putting it together. Oh, that's doesn't make a difference. 6 plus 2 would be 8. 14 would be 7. Yeah, it would make a difference. Let's just add up anything and then half it, as I did with armor. So we will do, in this case, 14 halved is 7 or less. And here is 1, 7, which is just enough to put the Bone Walker down. Nara gets a second gets another mana token back and does the burn with power of 7. It does nothing, so this undead stays on the field and will be resurrected next turn. Nara is allowed to walk 1, 2, 3 because of hit and retreat. And now a Neri was done. Sagan could still walk. Theros could activate. Theros will activate 1, 2, 3. And he will shoot at the Forgotten Hero. I'm really terrible with names today. A line of sight, yes. Not target of a melee or attack outside of the same space. No line of sight. Dodge towards, line of sight, range attack. He can't declare range attacks because he is engaged. So outside of the same space, he will dodge. Okay, so Forgotten Hero will dodge and then goes closer to the opponent. Theros needing a total of 16 or less. 11 is good enough to hit with his crossbow and assassin 1. Snipe and assassin 1? No. The Vengeful Spirit with a 15 is unable to dodge because it has an agility of 8. But it will move up to here. With Theros able to wound it, armor 16, power of 19, so 13 or less. With a 9, Theros is indeed able to wound the Forgotten Hero by 1. Now, Theros still has an activation, Nara has still an activation, and Sagan has an activation. As well as this Bone Walker and this Forgotten Hero, Vengeful Spirit. This Vengeful Spirit will activate, and it will 1, 2, 3. It will use its activation to run, and the Forgotten Hero will try to shoot it. So 14 or less. It's a 17. So with this, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's able to get into the same space as the wounded Forgotten Hero and bring it into contact. Now, does my other Bone Walker wants to activate? Doubles movement, halves movement, so only one space. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it will activate. It will run 1, 2, and then it will run again 1, 2, 3, 4, getting into the same space as the Forgotten Hero. So with this, I will prepare the hostile's turn. This one is getting up, and I'll see you as soon as I'm ready. I just realized that I already should have resolved encounter 2. Yeah, I decided I will do that as soon as one of my 4 heroes will enter it, and not one of the allied and mindless ghosts. Just for an explanation. Okay, let's go with the Chaos deck. Terrors and Race. Choose the hostile with the highest tier on the field. Okay, it's only the... not only, but it's the Forgotten Hero. Each hero must perform a moral, applying -3 modifiers if the tier is 3 or higher. It is not, it is only 2. Fails hero must walk away from the hostile, ending the movement facing away from it. If there are no hostiles on the field, okay. So, let's see. Starting with Anari, 12 or less. It's 7. She's fine. Let's go with Theros, needing 11. Just fine. Sagan, 17. Would have been more surprising if he fell. And Nara, 14. 16. She has to make a normal move away. 1, 2, 3. From the hero, from the Forgotten Hero, and right into the same space as Sagan. Okay, could have been far worse. Now, this lone Bone Walker will activate. It will 1 to 10. It's Nara, otherwise Sagan. It will attack Sagan. Sagan on his end will react. Yeah, forgot to put on activation points on the heroes. I will just do it quickly. Yeah, Sagan will activate by attacking himself, and he will also use reduce the undead's offense by 3, so that the undead needs a 7 or less. 2 and a 5. These are great rolls for the undead. Sagan, 1 attack because of reactive, another because of sentinel. Will now need an 14 or less. 8 and 3. The 3 is cancelled out by the 5, but the 5 is cancelled out by the 8. Sagan wins in total. 15 minus armor 2. So 13 or less with a roll of 4. The Bone Walker is already down. Now, the Forgotten Hero will see who he attacks. 1 to 10, it's the the Vengeful Spirit. It's the Bone Walker, who has a defense of 12. And it will use its defense of 12 to attack. And this Vengeful Spirit will also attack. And this Vengeful Spirit will dodge immediately out of the encounter. So that this situation never happened. So it always stood there. Just so that I have another explanation why the encounter didn't trigger. So, also with all this going on, Theros will he activate to get over now? I will wait with my heroes here. I will do the undead do all their stuff by themselves, or will they? Sagan and Nara will activate, dodging out of the water. And Theros dodges into the water, and Anari dodges 1 space closer. Excuse me. So, know this whole conglomerate. The Forgotten Hero attacking the Bone Walker. He needs a 14 or less. 5 and 13, 2 hits. The Bone Walker itself, 12 or less. 17, it failed completely. The Vengeful Spirit needing a 10 or less. 8, it hits. The Forgotten Hero against the Bone Walker, power of 11 minus armor 2, 9 or less to destroy it. 14 and 19, not enough. The Vengeful Spirit needing a 10 or less because ignores armor. With a 4, this is enough to put another wound. Okay, the minions are quite effective at dispatching their previous leader, which is now crumbling to dust at going to the ground. And now these 2 are down. So with this, let me allocate a few activation points, and then we will return for the hero's next activation. Nara is no longer weakened. Can put the token back. And hungry for more mana points, she will use her artificial class to once again cast Soul Leech onto herself. And now she will use a walk 1, 2, 3 to get in the adjacent square because this one is full. Sagan will use a dodge 1, 2, 3 to get in the same space as Nara, making this space, because he has a count of 2, full. So 2 activation points. Nara will also use her second activation to cast Second Chance onto herself. With a 9 and a 11, it is successful, so she loses her wound. Theros will use a run action, halving his movement and doubling it, so movement 3 becomes 2, and then it will be 4, so 1, 2, he will just leave this space here, since there are no hostiles. And then Anari will use a run action, 1, halving a movement, still 1 remaining, 2, getting here. And then she will use her second activation to cast Melting Touch onto Nara once more. So, with this I get a second synergy point. So, one more time and everything will be good. The other undead stay where they are. The reason behind this is because all of the melee attacks are within the same space. So it has to target one of the 3. And Nara gets a higher chance to attack the undead. Even when I'm thinking about it out loud, I will just roll because there are now 5 opponents close by. So Nara will definitely try to attack one way or another. So I'll prepare this, including the hostile here at the back, and I'll see you afterwards. One quick correction, since I have the activation points, this Vengeful Spirit will walk 1, 2, 3, 4, and then with the second activation go into the same space. The reason for this is I have my range combatants here and my melees are up there, so just to protect my back line. With this now, we will go into the next brief respite. One hero may spend 1 AP to remove 1 wound. I am not wounded. I will reshuffle it in later. Let's do this attack against my Vengeful Spirit, who will activate and try to dodge. And Neri will wait and see, but Theros will immediately activate, and Theros will attack with his Thenian crossbow. So let's start with the Bone Walker. 12 is not enough, but the 9 is. So 1 hit. Is the Vengeful Spirit able to dodge it? With a 14, no. 5 or less to wound. 11, it is not enough, but it is enough to put a 3rd weak point onto this one. So let's grab another token. Here we are. Theros, 17 or less, with a 15 is enough to hit. Power 19 minus armor 2, 17 or less. 16 is enough to put the Bone Walker down. So, good thing that he stood there. Now, this one will activate 1 to 5. 1 to 5. Let's start here. 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20. 10, this will be the Bone Walker, which will react by attacking on itself, making a confrontation out of it. Nara will absolutely attack, and saying will wait, as will the Vengeful Spirit. So, let's start with the Forgotten Hero, who will attack 14 or less, 16 and 6, 16 and 6. The Bone Walker needing, since there's another undead within 3, friend allied undead, we need an 11 or less. 15 is not enough. Therefore, 1 hit. Is it in needing 9 or less to wound? This is an 8, and with this, the undead goes down and will be resurrected as an opponent once again. Okay, now Nara's attacks. 2 attacks. Since she's in the same space as she is unable to attack because the spirit got away. And with this, the Forgotten Hero also had only the chance to attack there. So now it makes easier because the Forgotten Hero will attack the other Vengeful Spirit. So, but in this case, if the opponents, no, I will wait. So, yeah. Or do I? Let me, in this instant, not Nara will activate, but Anari, using her foresight, and Anari will cast Deep Freeze, which is an enchantment. Okay. Let's do not that. Maybe later. Yeah. Confrontation, Forgotten Hero, Vengeful Spirit will dodge. Forgotten Hero fails to hit with a 15 and an 18. Vengeful Spirit with a 20. Okay, both of these fumble. And with this, I will reshuffle the Chaos deck and then go into the hero's next turn. Okay, now I will not try to get any mana points this turn, so she will cast Undead Sight onto herself, or Spectral Sight to get advantage against Undead this way around. And I will start with Anari, because the Forgotten Hero is unable to react to her because he's in combat and he can't do any range attacks. she will cast Melting Touch onto Theros, because Melting Touch says that the target gains Ignore Armor and Burn 1. So Theros all attacks have now Burning and Ignoring Armor. And now Theros will use this to attack the Forgotten Hero, who will dodge. He's unable to go closer because of the 2 space slots field, so he will stay where he is. But let's see. He will roll to dodge, 8 or less. He manages, so Theros needs a critical hit. With a 7, it would have been nice, but it shouldn't be. Yeah, Theros moves 1 space closer in his second activation and tries the same again. It most likely will play out similar. Let's see. Is the Vengeful Spirit able to dodge with a 17? Not this time. Is Theros able to hit with a 17 or less? With a 3 he is. Now, power 19 in total, ignoring armor. A 4 is a wound. And now the more interesting part. The burn also uses the power of the original attack, so 19 in total. And with a 20, this was the only one result that prevents the undead from being burned. Now, Sagan or Nara? Or neither of them? This Vengeful Spirit activates attacks the Forgotten Hero, who will react by attacking itself. So the Forgotten Hero needs a 14 or less. It's a 5. The Vengeful Spirit needs a 10 or less. It's a 6. It is just barely able to win this confrontation. Ignoring armor, 10 or less. Natural 1. It destroys this Forgotten Hero. Far better than expected, I have to say. Excuse me. And with this, Anari will activate 1, 2, going up to here. And this time she will cast Melting Touch on Sagan, so that he with sweep 1 is able to deal some damage, hopefully. And he will also walk into the same space. Okay, now I will prepare the hostile turn, and this one will stay where it is. I will prepare the hostile's turn, and we will see how their turn will end. Let's see how this will play out. I have a bad feeling about this Chaos card. Okay, regroup. May spend an activation point to remove either a wound point or a weak point each. 2 different heroes. Sagan would really like to use that. Anari will trade, even if it's her reactive turn. Sagan would like, but I need him. Then let's go with Theros. Theros will also make this trade. Okay. But Sagan, he needs his 2 activation points. Because, let's see, 1 to 10, 11 to 20. 1 to 10, this one will start, it will activate. 1 to 10, the ghost, otherwise Sagan. 11, it will attack Sagan. Sagan will react by attacking himself, because he has sweep 1 and ignoring armor. He will also target this one, who is unable to react because it is not its reactive phase. So, the Bone Walker has 2. Sagan will use once again Masterful Parry to reduce its offense by 3, but it gets +1 because of the ally, so -2 in total. Needing 8 or less. 14 and 16. Sagan needing 14 or less. It's a 5, only 1 hit. Power 15, ignoring armor for the Bone Walker. With a 4, it is down. Does the burn 15 does anything? 19, no. It goes just down. No. He also hits the Forgotten Hero. Let me just have a look at sweep 1. On a successful attack roll, which is all models within the same space and adjacent space within line of sight and melee weapon reach suffer a hit. So 1 hit there. Therefore 15 or less, ignoring armor. 4, it is a wound. And burn 1. 17, not enough, but it is a wound. Now we will do this confrontation. The Bone Walker, 2 attacks. The Ghost will try to dodge. 6 and 16. The Ghost, with a 3, successfully dodges, stays where it is. And another round, the same procedure. Bone Walker, 10 and 13. The 10 is a hit. The Ghost, 18, fails to dodge. And at 12 is not enough to wound it, so it gets a 4th weak point. Now let's see what happens here. The Forgotten Hero, 1 to 10 Sagan. 7, it is Sagan. Sagan will defend himself, and Theros will activate 2 and attack with a Thenian crossbow using his snipe ability. Sagan will have 2 strikes, reducing the Forgotten Hero's offense to 11. So the Forgotten Hero, 16 and 17. Sagan needing 14 or less. 15 and 3, 1 hit. Once again, 15 ignoring armor. The hero is down. Let me see. With a 6, it is also burned, so Theros is not relevant anymore. This one is removed from the field. Finally, the first one, which is removed. Okay, now there are no hostile activations anymore. I will prepare the hero's turn and I'll let you join as soon as I'm ready. With the hero's turn prepared, Nara will cast Spectral Sight onto herself, gaining advantage against undead. And Nari will start by casting Melting Touch, for ignoring armor and burn 1 on Theros. Theros will activate by walking into a Nari's space, just getting rid of the wound token, and then shooting at the Bone Walker, who will dodge. The Bone Walker with a 15 fails to dodge, but works anyway. Theros needing 17 or less. With a 15, he's able to hit. Now, power of 19. He manages to wounds. Is he able to burn the undead? With a 10, he is also able to burn the undead, and it is removed from the field. That was what all this was about. And now this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and with the second activation gets into the same space as Sagan and the other 2, just so that Nara will be able to attack next time. And for this 1, 2, 3, 4, Nari will use a run action to get back into the water. And in her next activation, she immediately will walk 1 space out of it and cast Melting Touch on Nara. Nara, with her advantage against undead, will now cast Soul Leech onto herself. I'm really fishing for the mana tome here. It has a power of a strike value of 1. So let's see, 13 or less. With an 8, Nara is able to cast Soul Leech onto herself. Now Theros will want to walk a little bit closer to Anari just to protect her. And with all this, it's done, I would say. Let me just allocate my activation points to the heroes. And then let's get up this Bone Walker, who is in its active role. And my Vengeful Spirits, controlled by Nara, will be in their reactive role. The Chaos card says, Illusionary Ambush. Each hero must perform a moral roll. On a fail, they must perform another dice roll and walk 2 spaces either towards the exit or to the entrance, which is, in this case, the same direction. So, moral roll. Anari, 12 or less. It's a roll of 3, she's fine. Theros, 11 or less. 5, he is fine. Sagan, 17 or less. 15 he's fine, and Nara and 14 or less. 15 she has to walk 1, 2, 3 spaces and therefore is unable to attack. Damn it. Okay, this Bone Walker will activate 1 to 6, 7 to 1 to 6, 7 to whatever, 7 to 14, and 15 to, yeah, let's see. 14, it is 1 to 6, 12. Okay, this is Sagan. Sagan will defend himself with 2 attacks, and the Vengeful Spirits both will attack. So, the Bone Walker with 2 strikes, reduced by 3, 9 and 4, therefore the 4 is a hit. Sagan, 14 or less, rolls a 14, which wins the confrontation. 15 or less, minus armor 2, 13 or less to wound. It's an 18, which is enough to put a wound token onto it. And then both of my ghosts, 8 or less, 13 and 17, not enough. Excuse me. Now, the next round of the Bone Walker, let's see, it's a 10. This will be this Vengeful Spirit, which will just try to make a dodge, nothing more. The Bone Walker with a 7 hits, the Vengeful Spirit with a 16 fails to dodge. So now 10 or less, 5 or less, with a 3 it is not enough, but enough to put a 5th wound token onto it. And it will just dodge out of this combat. So, now it's the hero's turn. I will let it where it is. And with that, 1, 2, 3. Anari will use a run action to move 3 spaces, then use her second activation to cast Melting Touch onto Nara. Nara, in her Artificer in the strategic phase, will use Soul Leech. And now Nara will use a run action. Will you use a run action? No. This Vengeful Spirit will activate first. It will start by using a dodge action. The Bone Walker will activate attack. With a 6, the Bone Walker hits. The Vengeful Spirit with a 9 fails to dodge, and an 8 is not enough. It would have needed a 5. So it dodges. It dodges out of the way here, and then it will just dodge back into. I will not destroy these on the Bone Walker. Attack from the Bone Walker. Okay, 17. It fails because now Nara can 1, 2, 3, 4 close in, and with her second activation, she is now allowed to make 3 attacks because the Bone Walker is out of activation points. Same space as saying, therefore 17 or less, 3, 11, and a 20. 2 hits, power of 14, 2 wounds, which is good. These are 2 more mana token, and a burn 1, 14 or less. With a 3, it is enough to also burn this one to crisp. So now, no hostiles on the field. Let me... Theros has activations, he can get closer. Saying stays where he is, I will do that or at the beginning of my next turn. So, 1 Chaos card, let's see. Reckless Abandon, Tier 1 hostile gains sweep 1, reshuffle the deck. Okay, I will reshuffle the deck and then we will go into whatever happens here. Before we do that, I just realized that Anari did it a 3rd time, had run before she casted an enchantment spell, so this one is done, unlocked, and of course I will give it to Anari. That might be a reason why it is her figure painted there. I just looked up here which side it is, so that we can jump right into it, and before that I will allocate my activation points to my allied Vengeful Spirits. Okay, excuse me. With this, Sagan walks here, activation point, and removing encounter 2. The 3-story pagoda casts a menacing shadow. Around the heavy wood entrance lies a ghastly pile of Oni corpses. From within, a chilling calm voice hums through the air, speaking in a strange dialect. You cannot make out any words. Your heroes are faced with a choice. What do you do? Break down the door and attack whatever is inside? Call out to the being inside? Bar the door from outside and set the pagoda on fire? Retreat from the door and continue your journey up the mountain. After resolving the chosen option and its respective secret lock, entry immediately trigger encounter 3. I did it because I wanted to know what's inside. So, excuse me. I will definitely break down the door and attack whatever is inside. Call out to the being. What was it? A chillingly calm voice hums through the air, speaking in a strange dialect. C and D I will not take. I hope guns blazing, or will I call out to it? Everything was hostile, but I hope that there will be something helpful here. Sagan triggered it, so most likely Sagan will have to deal with all of this. He has an intelligence of 30, so all of my party is quite intellectual. With 13, 3 out of 4, the other one is a Neri with 16. Yeah, big man. Let's see what the dice say. 1 to 10, it's guns blazing and option A. It's a 9. So, we will go gun in blazing, break down the door and attack whatever is inside. Secret lock B02 A. Sorry, B02A. B02A. You burst through the door into the darkness interior of the pagoda. As your eyes adjust, a chilling demonic chuckle reaches your ears. Before you stands a monk, his face obscured by a theatrical demon mask. A malevolent Tengu spirit clings to his back. It's large, than wings, adding an unsettling otherworldly grace. Suddenly, a flash of steel reveals a sword, a poison attack. Okay, what would have been if another secret lock? Take a print now. The first inspected pagoda failed silent. After a tense pause, the second voice hums to them. Leave this place at once. For all you will find here is death. Your heroes are faced with a choice. Convince the entire inside to let you in. One hero may perform int. Break in. Leave. I had hoped that it would have been Kogetsu, and I think this is it. What is it? Result when you reduce HP. Okay, so I still have the chance to reduce him. Okay. I sadly do not have his miniature painted right now, so I have to put on the standee, and he is placed on 3, so I will prepare that, and then we'll see what happens. I fight Io. I will have to fight him. So, see you as soon as I place them. Here he is standing in paper form, so I really have to paint the miniature next. I had hoped to find him here, but I didn't expect it seriously because it's quite early. So here we have him. 2 activations, 2 spaces movement, 3 armor, 4 health, absolutely defense, sentinel and warrior. Sentinel is not really helpful because stamina -1, but sentinel is absolutely helpful. Sweep 1 with his Naginata. Toughness of 13, so total power of 16, reach 1. And in defense roll 2 attacks with it. Vigilance, impede, so he will make an attack of opportunity and it will stop me immediately. He will also always use his fencing 1, so therefore reducing my melee attacks by -3. And his protective currents apply a -4 to incoming attacks, and if hit, all enemy monsters within 1 space suffer a hit with knockback 3, and this effect is cancelled until the next strategic phase. And if he is incapacitated, replace its profile with Kogetsu's Spirit of War instead. But in this instant, reduce Kogetsu's HP below 2, then we will read the other secret lock. So with this, Sagan yeah, will use a dodge action. No, he stays where he is, and he will attack with a short bow because I gave it to him for a reason. So, 2 attacks for Sagan. He has an accuracy of 12 minus 2. Will he? No. He will walk into his close range. He will use a dodge action to get here because Kogetsu will attack him now. So first Sagan's dodge. With a 12, he's just 1 off. Okay, Kogetsu now. Normally 2, -1 for the Naginata strike value, but +1 for Sentinel. Impede and fencing 1, okay, there is no attack, but he has a defense of 16, so 16 or less. 8 and 17, these are 2 hits, total power of 16 minus armor 6. This will be 10 or less. 18 and 16 is not enough, but it is enough to put another weak point onto Sagan. Let's just swap out some of these. So, here we are. Now, let's use my Kogetsu activated once. This one will use a dodge action 1, 2 before Kogetsu tries to attack it as well. As I said, it will use a dodge action. So, the Spirit with a 5 successfully dodges, and Kogetsu with a 3 and a 7 is unable to score a critical hit. Therefore, the Ghost is able to get into contact with Kogetsu. That was unexpected. Pressing on, it will attack. 10 or less to hit. With a 9, it actually hits, but Kogetsu's protective currents apply -4 to incoming attacks, so 6 or less. And with this, it is not Kogetsu is not hit. Now, let's continue with Sagan. Let's see. When casting enchantment or healing type spell of another hero, you can move 1 space. Okay. Anari will first of all cast Melting Touch on Nara. Then she's allowed to move 1 space. And then she will once again cast Melting Touch onto Sagan to move another space. And now let's go with Sagan into the same space as Kogetsu. And he will attack the monk using second wind to get a 3rd attack. So 3 strikes. Normally 14 -4. We are going down to 10 or less. 11, 18, and a 19. So Sagan fumbles completely. Next, Nara, who had cast Spectral Sight onto herself, and Kogetsu is no undead. So 1, 2, 3, jumping right into the same space as Kogetsu. Since he's out of activation points, she has 3 strikes. Same space as Sagan, 17, -4, she's down to 13. 2 hits. Also with a burn 1 quality. But if hit, all enemy models within suffer hit with knockback 3. Okay, they will just be pushed out, but before that, ignoring his armor of 3, so 14 or less to wound. 12 and 14, these are 2 wounds here. And now the burn 14 or less. It's an 18, that is not enough, but it is enough to put, let me just grab some token. 2 wounds on Kogetsu. Now 3 spaces back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And also Nara, 1, 2, 3. But Nara isn't done yet. 1, 2, 3, getting right back into the fight. She will once again attack Kogetsu. This time Sagan isn't there, but also the protective cone is away, so 20 and 17 is no hit, but the 11 is. Power of 14 or less. 14, because ignore armor, this was successful, and the burn 1 would have also reduced him to 0 and would have burned him to crisp, which would mean that he would become the Spirit of War. So, with Kogetsu completely overwhelmed, we are allowed to read the secret log B03. B03. From a fleeting moment, hesitation grips you. His plea lingers in the incense-thick air, raw with fear and resignation. Okay. Suddenly a flash of steel reveals there was nothing. Secret log B03. B03. Okay. Your gaze shifts to the pagoda interior, its solemn grandeur at odds with the tension seeping into its wall. Countless sealing talismans drape the chamber, their intricate script and sacred signals barely visible in the dim, flickering light. Faint whispers of power still hum within them. Through their strength veins, the floor bears deep, jagged scratches. Demon and man have reared here, within these walls consecrated to order and divinity, and yet the space remains meticulously kept, a paradox of discipline and ruin, and a face and the shadow that seeks to devour it. You are faced with a choice. Choose one option. You may not select the others. The demon is dangerous. Do not permit the monk to live. Read before. Extend the hand to the monk. He is not a threat. I definitely want to recruit Kogetsu. So, this might be not wise, but I will go with B05. It has been a long time since I was shown any kindness. It shall not be forgotten. Your prayers shall be heard in a time of need, he says as he hands you his prayer beads. Perhaps you might also find use of what I guard. Above us lies a powerful relic, but you must first overcome its other guardian. From this point onward, you can summon Kogetsu the Cursed Mount as an ally. Thank you, that's what I wanted. To aid you in a quest of your choice, receive Fate Violet V, continue with secret log B05A below, if you would like to seek out the relic. I absolutely want to seek out the relic, so let's go down this rabbit hole. Kogetsu reveals a hidden rickety staircase in the back corner of the pagoda, barely visible without his guidance. The stairs creak ominously as they went upwards, and the upper floor where a powerful guardian awaits. Okay, place the Sacred Archer token card north of the tire, place the Intrigue token on 1 on 4, and Intrigue token 1 first, blah blah. Place a Forgotten Hero on the space. The Intrigue tokens are connected, a model may move between them. When the Forgotten Hero is defeated, remove it from the field. You may receive Hanya of Divine Protection, legendary item. Forgotten Hero has +3 offense, defense, +2 HP, duelist, and watchful. On the secret location tile, each space capacity is reduced by 2 slots. Okay, I will just prepare that. Luckily, okay, only Theros and 1 ghost are still able, so I will wait with it. I assume that Kogetsu can be removed from the field because he's now an ally. I definitely have to paint him, as well as Chandra and Tomoe. So 3 allies are to my name, and I will just prepare the space and I'll join you as soon as I'm ready. Okay, with all this Venture Spirit 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 gets onto the space. I really have to see that I still do the most out of these. This one is out of action. These 3 are only Theros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he will stay where he is. I will say that the opponents cannot interact because it is nowhere on their behavior card. So let's see what will just happen. The 2 highest tier hostiles remove all stats. Okay, shuffle back into the deck. So I will reshuffle the deck. and then I will continue with my next turn. Okay, let's drain some activation points. This Vengeful Spirit activate first. It uses an interact action to get right into the room, which will trigger an activation from the, how is it called? Forgotten Hero Ancient Guardian. So, reactive roll, one strike with its bow. With a 13 out of 17, it is definitely a hit. Luckily, it also has only a toughness of 13, therefore it has its power half to 7. 19 is not enough, but it is enough to put a 6 rune token onto it. And now the Vengeful Spirit will just get into contact and make a dodge. Against a defense of 17, I'm not at all the least trying to get anything than win the confrontation. So, one strike from the Forgotten Hero. 9 is definitely enough to hit. Is the Vengeful Spirit able to dodge with an agility of 8? With a 16, it is not. Minus 2, 11, so 7 or less. 17. Not enough to wound the Vengeful Spirit, and it has therefore, I will just put it here, 7 weak points. Now, the Forgotten Hero is in close combat. Nara casted onto herself the Necrotic Wounds to gain Cleave and Poison too. Because Cleave is my idea how to deal with all of this. And before that, Anari will walk 1, 2. Tapping, I totally forgot to give my heroes activation points. And tapping Melting Touch onto Nara before walking another space. Then Nara will activate. 1, 2, interaction 3. This space is already full. So before that, Sagan 1, 2, 3, 4. And next, Sagan will activate. 1 going into the same space as Nara. Now, when Nara activates, she gets into a confrontation with the Forgotten Hero, power of defense of 17. Nara will just walk 1 space up. Anari walks 1 space up and taps Theros with Melting Touch, who in turn will use he had run their last, he had activated, so Sagan had activated, Anari had activated, Nara had activated, Sagan had activated a second time. Activation management, okay. And Nara activated now a second time. She will stay where she is, but enemy within the same space. But since he is just not able, I think he will attack nevertheless. So Nara will use that to make an agility. Will she attack? Yeah, she will attack. She will try to make a confrontation out of this, even when her chances are not good. Defense of 17. It's a 9. Nara needing 14 or 9, between 9 and 14. It's an 8 and a 20. She had casted Necrotic Wounds onto herself, so not good. Forgotten Hero wins this turn. Power of 11 minus armor 3, 8 or less. It's a 9. Nara gets a weak point. I just realized something, that it's an undead 2, so this might be resolved in a quick order. Now Theros will activate first, getting up here, moving and using the attack action. Next he will attack. He spent an activation and now it's a second activation. He will attack the Forgotten Hero, who will dodge. So the Forgotten Hero will dodge, agility of 8. He fails to dodge. Theros tapped with Melting Touch, needing now 19 or less, 17 or less to hit. 10 hits. Now ignoring armor, assassination 1, 19 or less to wound. And 9 is enough to wound. And now burn 1, 19 or less. It's a 14, so the extra hit points are now gone. And now this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, stays where it is. So, the Forgotten Hero's turn. Let me just put out some activation points here, 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 and here. Also, you're getting a few, and you're. So now, what does the Chaos deck say? Until the next hostile phase, whenever a hero casts a spell, they suffer confused state until the next strategic phase at the end of the activation sequence. Okay. No casting spells. Well, Aneri, you are out of luck. But before that, we still have 2 people who have Melting Touch. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting with the Nara, 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20. The Forgotten Hero will attack 1 to 7. This will be the Vengeful Spirit. And this means that the other 3 can react freely. Yeah, and they will also do so. The Vengeful Spirit will dodge. So, starting with the Forgotten Hero. 19 and 20, he completely fumbles. Vengeful Spirit. 16, not any better. Nara begins. 14 or less. I totally forgot to look up what Duelist does. I believe Duelist means that no fencing art 3 or less can be used. So, not relevant for Nara. 2 and a 13. Her defense is 12. Therefore the 13 failed, but the 2 hits. Now, still Melting Touch and Cleave because of necrotic wounds. Let's see, 114 or less. It's a 4, this is enough. And now the burn, 14 or less. 16 is not enough. So, when the Forgotten Hero is defeated, remove it from the field. Okay, this one is especially removed from the field. Hanya of Divine Protection legendary item. Okay, first of all, you are gone. And now I will look up, I will search for the item, and then I will also prepare the hero's turn. And then I will make my way down the whole road to the exit. So, see you as soon as I prepared the hero's turn. Okay, we have the Hanya of Divine Protection accessory, 1 piece, 1 weight. While equipped, the hostiles cannot exploit weak points of the wearer. You may discard this item at any point of a turn, even if the wearer is incapacitated, and gain the following. Fully restore the wearer's HP, remove all weak points and prevent all damage and weak points that would be dealt to the wearer until their next strategic phase. That's a huge item, which goes immediately onto Sagan. And with this, Sagan is at his 6 inventory limit. Yeah, why Sagan? Because with his Protector, he will most likely be targeted for 2, him and Nara. And he has the most weak points currently. And also, him regaining all HPs, he has the most HP currently with 3. So I think this is quite beneficial. Okay, with all that said and done, let's go into the heroes phase. I'll start with this one, 1, 2, interact, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. He runs up to here, and I do not remove it. This was the one with the fell like 1000 weak points. The spirit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 immediately runs upwards with his 2 activation points. Sagan, interact action, then 1, 2, 3, 4 he runs. Theros, interact action, and then he runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anari 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he stays there. And then she gets 1, 2. She casts Melting Touch onto Sagan to move an additional square. And then Nara, who casts Spectral Sight onto herself, goes 1 interact action, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gets right into here. So, this was the hero's turn. Let's see what the Chaos deck has prepared. Undead Horde. As I had expected. Spawn 1 tier 1 hostile on exit. On the next hero phase, all undead hostiles. Okay. On exit. Oh, and she would have not cast a spell because of erratic mana. So I will save that. Speed 1. She will just have a normal walk action. Speed 1, Reach 1, and Poison. Okay, if another hostile is... Okay, that's not the case. So this one will, I believe in its active turn, it will walk. So 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay. That was the hostile's turn. Now it's once again the hero's turn. Nara will cast Spectral Sight onto herself as the Artificer. And now Anari will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anari will begin. Will she? Yeah, Anari will begin. 1, 2, and she will cast Melting Touch, ignoring armor, as she does most of the time currently, on Theros. Theros will stay where he is, and he will shoot at the Bone Walker, who will try to dodge. The Bone Walker dodging, 16 fails, up 1 space. Theros, 17 or less, with a 4 he hits, 19 or less, 5 he destroys it, and 6 he destroys it with a burn, so it is removed. Excuse me. Now Theros will use a run action, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anari 1, 2, 3, 4 goes up to here. Nara 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half speed, so 1 and 2. Sagan 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Totally forgot his ranger class. And then here the spirit 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 because it ignores. And this one stays behind and keeps watch. So, immediately to the next. Hateful Fortitude, 2 highest tiers hostiles, remove all states, which is not relevant because we do not have any here. Why I'm still continuing? Because I am still afraid of this freezing wind, which really destroyed the gatehouse. So, now Nara casts Spectral Sight onto herself, starting with Theros, 1 only half, so 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, no, 1, 2, and he's out. Sagan 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's out. Anari 1, 2, 3, 4, and she's out. Nara 1, 2, 3, 4, and she's out. With all of this, encounter 3. Oh, sorry. Damn it. As soon as I was still back there, let me retrace my steps as good as possible, and I will let you all join as soon as I have read it and prepared it. As you turn from the pagoda, a low gradual roar cuts through the thick mist towards the main path. You spot a hulking figure advancing, its heavy footsteps pounding the ground like war drums. On the opposite side of the crossroad, an undead figure slowly rises from the earth, clad in darkened Steel plate, rusted with age, it lays armor chipped and broken. The stench of death lingers in the air as the grim figure lumbers towards you. Forgotten hero on entrance and an Oni Marauder on exit. Okay, I will just put these 2 spaces all back. Luckily, Anari was here. This vengeful spirit was here. It was the lighter one. You were standing up there. Theros was up here. Sagan was up here. And Nara was up here. Luckily, it was quite clustered and it was easy. So, I will undead horde was it, and I will just reshuffle the deck. And yeah, I will do one turn with my heroes. So once again, let me see this one. 1, 2 interact. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going up here, triggering from this one with watchful 1 attack. It's 13. Is this also open? All tile edges are considered open with right edge. Oh, okay. So 1, 2, 3, it will immediately trigger here an activation. So the 14 hits. The 3 is enough to wound, and this one goes down. Not good. Control broken. Okay. This Vengeful Spirit will use a dodge action for the second activation. Vengeful Spirit manages 2 dodges. Forgotten Hero would have hit, but it dodges. So 1. Same procedure. Vengeful Spirit. 4. Forgotten Hero. 9. 1, 2 goes here. So 1 activation left. Sagan will activate. Going down here. And the Forgotten Hero hits with an 8. And it manages to wound. And Sagan is staggered, therefore out of activation points. But now the heroes can still... Erratic Mana is activated, so no spells from Anari, who will just 1, 2, 3, 4. Interact action and then run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nara, interact action and then run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 6, sorry. Aquatic terrain. And Sagan uses Ranger class 1, 2. Getting up to here. So now I will place on the Oni, reshuffle the Chaos deck, respawn my fallen Vengeful Spirit, who's now again an opponent. And then we get into the hostiles turn. I knew I had forgotten something. Luckily, it was easy to correct. So I prepare all of this, and then we will see you at the hostiles turn. With all this, the Oni Marauder activates first, and he will line of sight, because there are no borders. He will run. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still no in contact. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. 1, 2. Going here, because movement is half before aquatic. Now, lowest tier. This Vengeful Spirit walks into the same space as Sagan and confuse him until the next hostile's phase. So now this is over. Oh, and I forgot. The highest tier hostile gains 1 extra activation point. This is the Oni Marauder. So with this, 1, 2, he will run up to here. Luckily, he wasn't able to attack. So now, the ghost goes up to here, which will trigger a few reactions. I forgot to say what Nara would have casted onto herself, so she didn't do anything. Actually, this Oni Marauder would have caused this Vengeful Spirit to dodge a little bit closer. And now this Vengeful Spirit will trigger a reaction from Sagan. Just putting activation points back. Because it will attack and Sagan will attack. And Anari will wait. So, Vengeful Spirit has 1 attack, Sagan has 2. Sagan reduces the offense by 3. 19 fails. Sagan with a 9 and a 17. A 9 is able to hit. 15 reduced by half. 12 is not enough. Now will a Nary activate? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. She would be able with Ice Spikes and Lash to hit the Forgotten Hero. She could also help Sagan. She will wait. With the next activation of the Vengeful Spirit, Sagan will again activate, same procedure. 9 is unable to hit because of Sagan's fencing. Now 20 and 10, the 10 is enough to hit and also would have won the confrontation anyway. 15 is not enough to destroy it, and now Anari will activate. She will cast Water Lash to get knockback 2. 16 or less, 18 is not good enough. Okay. Here, the Vengeful Spirit, closest enemy, Theros and Nara. 1 to 10, it's Nara. Theros will react by attacking himself. Yeah, I will just keep the activation points there. So, Theros attacks and the Forgotten Hero. Forgotten Hero, needing an 18 or less, it's a 7. And Theros needing a 17 or less, it's a 10. Theros wins this confrontation. He has not been blessed with the Melting Touch, so 19 minus 6, 13 or less. This is a 17, so not good enough. Then which one will he attack again? 1 to 10 is Nara. It's Nara this time. Nara will dodge this attempt. Yeah, Nara will dodge this attempt. Her dodge with a 14 is bad because she has an agility of 13. So the Vengeful Forgotten Hero, he hits her. Power 13 minus 3 is 10 or less. It's a 19. This is another weak point onto her, and I could change this one. Okay, so this were all of the hostiles activation. Let's go to the heroes. And this is a really bad situation because of the sweep 1. So, sorry, Theros could have activated previously and dodged just 1 outside. So now this would have made more sense. But then he couldn't have. No, I will stay where he is now. I have to deal with it right now. And with all this said, Nara will cast onto herself. The Oni Marauder has 4 wounds, so this calls for Necrotic Wound. Okay, Necrotic Wound is cast. With this, let's get Theros 1, 2. Dodge. He has to dodge 1 there. Let's first of all. Okay. This Vengeful Spirit activates for the first time, triggering a reaction from the Forgotten Hero. So only giving him 3. It will dodge. 1, 2. So is it able to hit? With an 8 it would have been hit, and a 10 is not enough to dodge, and a roll of 5 is even enough to destroy it. Okay, not good. This was only 1 activation. And now I somehow have to deal with the Oni Marauder. I have the idea with Deep Freeze, but this will trigger an attack from the Forgotten Hero. Which is the best idea? It's really difficult. So Anari will activate. She will cast Deep Freeze onto the Oni Marauder, triggering an attack from the Forgotten Hero. Forgotten Hero with a 20 fails to hit her. Lucky Anari. Yeah, and she will walk previously one space. She will stay where she is. Deep Freeze onto the Oni Marauder. Let's see. 16 or less. It's a natural one. She spends her 1 mana token to get it done. So now, when enchanted, the model suffers 2 weak points, -3 armor, and cannot declare movement or action other than idle nothing at the beginning of the strategic phase any. So full on. Okay, I can go now for Berserker mode. So 2 activations has this one left. Starting with Theros, since the Oni Marauder can declare nothing. 1, 2. Theros will attack the Vengeful Spirit. The Vengeful Spirit will attack in return. Vengeful Spirit, 14 or less. 16 it fails. Theros, 17 or less. 11 hits. And with a 9, it is enough to wound it. Okay, now Sagan will activate. He will try to attack the Vengeful Spirit. Will he? Will he not? Yeah, he will try to attack the Vengeful Spirit and reducing its offense by 3. 18 is not enough for the Vengeful Spirit. Sagan himself, 1 and 9. And now with an 8 is not enough. Wait a second, 15. It is just enough to put the Vengeful Spirit down. This was Sagan's first activation. Now his second, he will run. Since the Vengeful Spirit, Forgotten Hero will attack. With a 4 he hits Sagan. And with a 20 he fails to wound, so Sagan gets a 5th weak point. Now Sagan's second activation runs into the same space as Nara. And now, since the Forgotten Hero is out of activation, Nara will go Furious on the Oni Marauder, who has still his activation points, even when he can't react. So, 2 attacks, boosted by Sagan, so total offense of 17. Before she does it, she doesn't need the burn, she has the cleave, necrotic wounds, cleave 2, poison 2. But Melting Touch would help, nevertheless. Yeah, Anari will cast Melting Touch onto Nara and risk it all in. So, with this, Nara casted... No, wait, she will cast Melting Touch onto Theros, because Theros will now attack the Forgotten Hero in the back. 17, 16, just enough to hit, 19 or less, ignoring armor. The Forgotten Hero is wounded and now burn, and with a 3, the Forgotten Hero is burnt, and this eases the difficulty the heroes have to face now. And now, despite no burn, but the Oni Marauder at 0 armor, let's see what Nara can do in her first activation. So, first activation, 17 or less, 15 and 6, 2 hits, total power of 14, not reduced, 15 and a 3, therefore 13, therefore these are the first 2 wounds onto the Oni Marauder. And then Nara's second activation, come on. 16 and a 6, 2 hits. Once again, 14 or less. 9 and 9, 2 9s. Therefore, the Oni Marauder immediately goes down. And with that, Nara is able to go back to Theros' side. and with she will just go to a Neri side because now Sagan can use his Ranger class to get 1-2 spaces back to Theros. So now I will prepare the Hostiles turn, reshuffle the Chaos deck, and we will see what the Vengeful Spirits do, because now, once again, there's no other Hostile here. Okay, to be fair, it doesn't matter what the ghosts do, because it walks into here, Nara will activate, spend a mana token and take control of it. And she will do the exact same as second time, but before that, Dense Haze. Environment is considered hazy. Okay, I was for a moment afraid that it might have been once again freezing winds, but this is good because it's a safe against freezing winds. Because hazy, here it is. No range attack through from outside. Range attacks into against target inside. Half attack. And the melee attacks will reach of 1 space or more. Suffer -3 attack modifier. So hazy is also ignored by Theros, so everything is fine. Hero's activation. Nara casts onto herself Spectral Sight. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. With her run action. Anari goes 1 space here, casts Melting Touch onto Nara, goes an additional space. Theros. 1, 2, 3. Okay, he has to use 4 spaces. So with this, Nara 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goes up to here. Anari 1, 2 casts Melting Touch on Sagan, moves an additional space. Sagan 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 stays here. Then 1, 2, 1, 2 goes up to here. Theros 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 stays here. And my ghosts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. And this one stays back here. Sagan uses his Ranger class, goes up to here. And now, freezing winds. Luckily, we got Hazy Dense previously, that the freezing winds can be ignored. I really dislike this weather condition. So, and with all this said and done, Spectral Sight onto herself with Nara. Let's go with 1. She casts Melting Touch onto Nara, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Sagan has the same movement speed. The whole party gathers around. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Just going here. And we are at daylight, since it's still dawn, as we can see here. Choose a hero. That hero gains the Watchful trait. Okay. Spawn 2 tier 1 hostiles. Okay, that would be bad. Sadly, this is the last turn. The heroes go back. And with this ending, resolving to press on, you are intent on escaping this wretched place. You pass threats past smaller abandoned sanctuaries and desolate graveyards as you head towards the fortress monastery. So, abandoned monastery. With this, we completed the Misty Temple and have one event to go on. But before that, we are here at daylight now. So, let me clean the desk before we go into the event and continue to the abandoned monastery. Just something I noticed, since Anari and Nara would still have 2 activation points before the heroes left the field, I would just have Nara try to heal Sagan with second chance, 5 and 3. This is good enough, so he gains his wound back. And Anari would have used one of her activation points to actually gain her mana point back, just for the next mission. So now, with all this done, we are at daylight when we arrive at this event to go back from the Mist Temple to the abandoned monastery. So in daylight, we get a signpost. The signposts you notice seem oddly altered, leading you to pass familiar landmarks again and again. The forest harbors a face spirit known for leading wanderers astray, revealing in the confusion it sows with its cunning illusions. Ignore the sign and try to find your own way. Follow the sign. The forest harbors a face spirit known for leading wanderers astray. Yeah, come on. I will go with the sign, reveling in the confusion it sows with its cunning illusions. Trying to find my own way. Difficult. Come on. I have no time for Frey Spirit. I will go with 14 with the for E142 at page 115. Yeah, 151, sorry. 51. And I said 14-2. Ignore the sign and try to find your own way. Roll int, any one hero. On success, you find the right path. On a failure, advance time by 1 as you briefly lose your way, but eventually go right. Okay. So, Anari, 16 or less. And it's an 11. So, on success, right, therefore, it is not advanced by 1 due to this event. But since we completed that event, the travel to our Mist Temple just cost us half a day. What would have been the other one? On a success, advance time by 1 time period. On a fail, advance time by 2 time periods. However, the enchanted path restores your heroes, healing all wounds and removing 1. Okay, that would also have been nice. But no, I said I wanted to go with the quicker route. So now I'm just trying to find, Misty Temple. And the next we will be at the abandoned monastery, right at dawn. So, with all this, I hope you enjoyed this Let's Play. Hope to see you at the next one, and until then, have a good time. Bye!